Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you all are hearing part of my conversation with travel expert and author Joe Yogerst, discussing his new book from National Geographic called 100 Trails, 5,000 Ideas. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In international news, Biden declares Kyiv stands in surprise visit to Ukraine. President Joe Biden swept unannounced into Ukraine on Monday to meet with President Zelensky in a defiant display of Western solidarity with a country still fighting what he called a brutal and unjust war days before the first anniversary of Russia's invasion. 1 year later, Kyiv stands, Biden declared after meeting Zelensky at the palace, jabbing his finger for emphasis on his podium against a backdrop of 3 flags from each country. He continued, and Ukraine stands, democracy stands, the Americans stand with you, and the world stands with you. Biden spent more than 5 hours in the Ukrainian capital consulting with Zelensky on next steps, honoring the country's fallen soldiers, and seeing U.S. Embassy staff in the besieged country. Altogether, he was on Ukrainian territory for about 23 hours, traveling by train from and back to Poland. The visit came at a crucial moment. Biden is trying to keep allies unified in their support for Ukraine as the war is expected to intensify with spring offensives. Zelensky is pressing allies to speed up delivery of promised weapon systems and calling on the West to provide fighter jets, something that Biden has declined to do up until this point. The U.S. president got a taste of the terror the Ukrainians have lived with for close to a year when air raid sirens howled just as he and Zelensky wrapped up a visit to the Gold Dome St. Matthew's Cathedral. Looking solemn, they continued unperturbed as they laid 2 wreaths and held a moment of silence at the Wall of Remembrance honoring Ukrainian soldiers killed since 2014, the year Russia annexed Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula and Russian-backed fighting erupted in eastern Ukraine. The White House would not go into details, but National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that it notified Moscow of Biden's visit to Kyiv shortly before his departure from Washington for deconfliction purposes in an effort to avoid any miscalculation that could bring the 2 nuclear-armed nations into direct conflict. In Kyiv, Biden announced an additional $500 million in U.S. assistance on top of the more than $50 billion already provided for shells, anti-tank missiles, air surveillance radars, and other aid, but no new advanced weaponry at this time. In more international news, 3 dead, more than 200 hurt as new quake hits Turkey and Syria. A new 6.4 magnitude earthquake on Monday killed 3 people and injured more than 200 in parts of Turkey laid waste 2 weeks ago by a massive quake that killed tens of thousands, authorities said. More buildings collapsed, trapping some people, while scores of injuries were recorded in neighboring Syria, too. Monday's earthquake was centered in one of the worst-hit regions of the magnitude 7.8 quake area that struck on February the 6th. It was felt in Syria, Jordan, Cyprus, Israel, and as far away as Egypt, and followed by a second magnitude 5.8 trembler. In national news, arrest made in killing of Catholic bishop in California. A suspect has been arrested in the killing of a Catholic bishop who was fatally shot over the weekend in Southern California in a crime that shocked the Los Angeles religious and immigrant communities, authorities said on Monday. The person was arrested in the killing of auxiliary Bishop David O'Connell, who was found in his home and declared dead at the scene, the Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy said. In technology news, Meta testing new subscription service for verified accounts. Meta is testing a new subscription service that would let Facebook and Instagram users pay for a verified account. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced Meta Verified on his social media account Sunday. Testing will begin in New Zealand and Australia this week and will roll out to other countries soon, he said. For $11.99 per month on the web or $14.99 per month on Apple and Android operating systems, Meta will use a government identification to verify a user's account and give the account a blue badge. Previously, Meta's blue badges were free and reserved for notable public figures or businesses. Subscribers will also get extra protection against account impersonation and direct access to customer service. In more national news, Tom Sizemore in critical condition after brain aneurysm. Tom Sizemore is in critical condition after suffering a brain aneurysm, a representative for the actor said over the weekend. Sizemore suffered the aneurysm around 2 a.m. on Saturday at his home in Los Angeles. He was hospitalized in intensive care, his manager said. And finally, in business news, world shares mostly higher as inflation worries dog Wall Street. Wall Street closed another bumpy week with a mixed performance on last Friday amid worries that inflation is not cooling as quickly or as smoothly as hoped. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Remember that people can think of you whatever they like. That's okay, and that's their right. What matters to you should be what you think of yourself. Don't allow what others assume about you to be the reality you live under. Be the you that you were created to be, and the rest will take care of itself. Have an amazing Tuesday. We are part of my conversation coming up with Joe Yogerst in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Travel expert and author Joe Yogerst joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about his new book with National Geographic, 100 Trails, 5,000 Ideas. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Joe, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, too.
Well, look, the pleasure is definitely always mine. I love being able to speak with you because you not only give us, I think, some great ideas when it comes to travel, but also reminding us of the things literally right around us. So I want to talk to you about that first, Joe. What has that been like for you to not only share your own love of travel and exploration, but also to get people to be able to think outside the box when it comes to their own travel?
Yeah, I think that there's nothing as kind of earth-breaking in life as travel, and it doesn't really matter how you do it. I mean, it's certainly been some of the most significant parts of my life are the trips that I've taken, and I think it's a great way to kind of, well, first of all, see what's happening with everyone else out there, but also, especially with hiking, to clear your mind, to improve your health, to start thinking about the big things in life rather than worrying about all the small things. And it's so for both your mind and body. I think it's the perfect tonic.
And as we're talking about trails here, Joe, I love the way that the book is broken down, so our audience can pretty much look at different areas. Of course, I'm here in the South, here in Mississippi, but I love the fact you're able to kind of break it down geographically. What was it like for you putting this together and kind of highlighting some of the places that you thought that readers should take a look at?
Well, it was a multi-year project. I mean, it came about during COVID, when my editors at National Geographic rightly predicted that people would not be traveling internationally, but they would probably get back to domestic travel pretty quickly because of cabin fever.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. Be back to you guys on tomorrow with more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course, Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.